Glass half dead here with Tau versus Thousand Suns at 125 points. Kill team. Welcome everybody and a big hello. Or if you're a subscriber, a big double hello. If you want a double hello, then just subscribe and comment and all that stuff for the next video. Today's batrep is going to be focusing on strategy more than individual roles. I'll still show some roles, but I won't be calling them out unless it's vital or changes the decisions going forwards. In fact, in the first turn there are some really bad decisions that I've made from both teams, and I think it will make for great discussion as I explain exactly why they were bad decisions. I'm also going to be going into the list building a little bit more and where bad choices were made in that too. Getting into it now, we've got the LGT Deployment 3. Only 3 objectives on the board, making this a map guaranteed to get bloody. LVO 2021 objectives. First up we have the Thousand Suns with 10 models. Thousand Suns have a few different ways of being built at 125 and I haven't gotten too fancy with them. We have the Rubric Sorcerer, not a specialist because it's a model that will already draw a lot of fire. There's no need to make the target on its back any bigger. A Scarab Occult Gunner with heavy Warp Flamer and Hellfire Missile Rack as a heavy. Yes, the movement trait of the heavy spec isn't needed here, but the more bullets tactic is worth it for the Hellfire Missile Rack alone, and getting the extra shot with the Warp Flamer is just a bonus. A Rubric Marine with Warp Flamer and Icon of Flame as demolitions. This is a great pick against Tau as it has the possibility of eating through all of their drones in a single shot, letting you get to the important models behind them. We have a Twist Ray as our leader with Auto Pistol and Chainsword. Now, like most leaders, we don't really plan on letting our leader get stuck into the enemy at this point, so the pistol lets us hang back a bit. Not needed, but in my opinion preferable. Then just a bunch of Zangors, one with a Brayhorn and as a comms. Now a Brayhorn is a great pick in most Thousand Suns lists. That extra inch to advances and charges is a genuine game winner. The comms specialism is also a great pick if you're taking the Brayhorn, but really needs to be placed next to a Rubric Marine Gunner with a Soul Reaper Cannon. Now this was just a lapse in judgment in list building from me here. I'd originally built the list with a Soul Reaper Cannon, but swapped it out for the Warp Flamer. But then never swapped the comms for a Combat Zangor. The comms could still be useful with the Hellfire Missile Rack in play, but the Terminator is going to be deep striking in from reserves, so that will take some serious coordination. Onto the Thousand Suns secondaries, Dogpile because that's all the Zangors are going to be doing, Overkill because of the Warp Flamers and Hellfire Rack, and Abduction because the Tau don't have many drones, so either they will have to split up or they will be losing on the main objective. Onto the Tau. 9 models at 123 points, and I decided I wanted to use a Crisis Suit regardless of how good it actually is in this matchup. First we have the leader, a regular Fire Warrior. 3 rail rifles because Tau never leave home without them, 1 a comms, 1 a sniper. Now the recon drone here gets his own little screen because he's literally the best unit in the game. What a hero. 4 drones, 2 gun and 2 shield. In a more competitive list, the number of drones and how many shield or gun can be toyed with, but I like a mix here. Finally, our big boy, the XV8 Crisis Suit with 2 flamers and plasma rifle as a demolition specialist. I considered triple flamers, I think that's good, but I wanted something a bit better at killing marines, and the plasma rifle is certainly that. He's there along with his shield drones to be an unkillable monster that dominates the battlefield and is pretty much unchargeable. Tau secondaries. Death from afar because I have 2 flamers, obviously. Brace yourselves because I have a sniper nest. Steadfast because I could probably sit on an objective with the Crisis Suit and bully the Thousand Suns off it. A quick break here to answer what is most likely to be the most asked question. I am using so many third-party bits that I'm going to call them all out now. The Tau models are from Wargame exclusive, the flying stands for the drones are from Monster Apocalypse, the bases of the Tau and the status effect tokens are from Laserforge Minis, who also do a whole bunch more stuff than just what's here, and finally the terrain is from Tinker Turf Terrain. Here I'm using their neutral set. They also do Rusted and Icy and a bunch of other stuff. It's all pre-painted MDF. I'm also not using their big maglev rail yard terrain piece, which is like a building almost, but maybe in the next battle report, who knows. Oh, and the objective markers are obviously mine. Now let's take a look at the battlefield. The Tau lost the deployment roles, so got to choose first. On the right hand side of the map we have the main elevated position, but there's no line of sight blocking terrain for them to hide behind. On the left side, there's a bit of height, but nothing matching the right side, of course, but to make up for that, there's plenty of line of sight blocking with the containers. Knowing we want to be shooting a lot with our sniper nest, we take the obvious choice of the higher ground. In hindsight, I think this was the wrong choice, as the Thousand Suns have literally no long range shooting, so the higher ground isn't providing the sniper nest with cover from anything long range and deadly. And as the range team, I would have rather had the line of sight blockers on my side so the enemy couldn't use them. If the Thousand Suns had even one long range gun, that might not be the case, so this is quite a unique pick where I might say that, but in this instance where their longest range weapon is a flamer, I probably made it a poor choice. And of course, that way round, the Thousand Suns would have been guaranteed obscurity, but a bad shot is better than no shot, because again, the Thousand Suns don't really have ranged weapons, so they're more than happy to not get line of sight, so that they could take some pot shots. Into turn 1, and the Tau go first. Right off the bat, things get weird. The Crisis Suit, with its double flamers, wants to get into flaming range, but rolls a 1 on the advance, so it's a CP reroll into a 4. That just gives enough movement to get the base to the other side of the bridge. The idea is obvious. If anyone wants to charge, they take 2 flamers to the face. The reality is, I ended up in range of only 1 model. Big mistake, as we will see later. In hindsight, I should have normal moved on top of the bridge, which wouldn't have scored the objective. That's not how I play them. But it would have completely trapped the Zangors, as the charge would have required an 11+. Everything else moves as expected. 2 drones with the suit, a shield back with the leader, and a gun on the point. Obviously, the sniper nest readies. The Thousand Suns measure up ranges, and the Tau mistake is massive. Firstly, the Brayhorn here is key to the Zangor's ability to reach out and touch Tau. I'd recommend it in pretty much every list with more than 3 Zangors. So first up, the Warp Flamer readies, so we will be able to shoot the Crisis Suit. Now, that's actually fine. I knew that when I placed the suit. In general, if you're toughness 5, I would say don't worry about flamers. They're averaging a single wound against you, assuming you have any armor save and this suit has a shield drone. That wasn't the mistake. The mistake was that, first of all, I didn't need to be on the central objective in round 1, really. I'd happily take the negative in points to get some early kills and act as a denying unit in the middle of the board, a great bully tactic. The problem was that the suit was just over 8 inches from every other model, and as the Zangors had +1 to their charges, they managed to close. So that's a wasted turn with the Crisis Suit right there. The rest of the Zangors spread out. Should I have sent the leader off on his own up there? On the one hand, no, but on the other hand, holding your leader back all the time is really boring. I take a gamble and drop the Terminator Gunner in a lovely place. He's obscured, he's easily able to flame the leader, which is great, and he can send the Hellfire rack shots where needed, either into a drone or into the sniper nest. A great use of 1 CP, I stand by this move. The Psychic phase is as you'd imagine. I allow the Crisis Suit to take the single wound given, no need to risk a shield drone on that. Icon of Flame does nothing, but you know, the dream is always there, we can do it guys. In the shooting phase, the gamble with the Terminator fails hard, as the first rail rifle rolls amazingly well, breaking through to the injury roll with both shots. It was the sniper who shot, and I used the CP to increase their ballistic skill, and I used the recon drone's ability. I didn't use the comms ability, so that's still there for the next shot. This roll reminded me why I like overkill so much, and I am suddenly wondering why I didn't take it with the Tau when they have rail rifles and flamers. Poor secondary picking from the Tau team there. After that, despite some interesting rolls, nothing else actually happened in the shooting phase. In the fight phase, the Zangor misses everything. With 2 attacks and strength 5, a Crisis Suit is actually really good against Zangors and gets the kill. There's no morale on either side, but we do get a delightfully awkward pan over the board so we can see what's what. Despite the lapse in judgment from the Crisis Suit, it worked out brilliantly for the Tau, actually. The Tau managed to fully score the primary, whilst the Thousand Suns only managed hold 1. Pretty rough for the Thousand Suns there, and it has to be said the Thousand Suns didn't even manage dogpile on this turn. But actually, the Tau didn't score any secondaries either, so It was an interesting first turn, a lot of mistakes on both sides. It's still all to play for, even though Tau have the early lead, which, considering the Thousand Suns don't actually have any shooting, is what you would expect in this matchup. And we now have the Crisis Suit in a very vulnerable position, so this could all turn around right now. Going into turn 2, the Tau take the initiative. You might notice a new camera angle, and this is me trying something new. I'd love some feedback if you like this new format. Thank you very much. Now, to go with my more tactical discussion in this video, you can now see the top-down tactical real-time strategy-inspired map alongside the cinematic view. However, this was the worst possible time to choose to do it because there were some crazy rolls in this turn, and now we don't get to see those live. To prove they were real, if you watch till the end of the video, I'm keeping in the minute and a half of shocked audio from me off camera, wondering what's going on. Anyway, the Tau mainly just ready up, but shuffled a few drones, one moving backwards to make it harder to charge, and one moving forwards to protect the Crisis Suit now that the leader is definitely safe. The Thousand Suns, now basically unable to charge the Crisis Suit, decide to stack up on the objectives to go for hold more this turn and wait to see how the Tau react to that in turn 3. They only get one Zangor onto the lower objective, which is less than ideal. It was even a CP reroll on the advance for the other Zangor down there, but they still failed. Thousand Suns make risky moves. High risk, high reward. We get the psychic roll of 11, exactly what we need. With this and a strong warp flamer and warp pistol, we could be living the dream here. We could turn it all around. However, we pass all of them to the shield drone above the Crisis Suit and then feel no pain. All 3 saves. Absolute madness for my audio reaction. Watch till the end of the video on that. I genuinely wish that I had the dice roll camera going there, because honestly, it was crazy rolls. Lesson learned for me on that one, damn. The sniper nest goes for the Zangor on the southern objective. As it's contesting, we reroll the armor save, but still lose it, unfortunately. Because we rerolled the Zangor save to try and stay on the point, a tactically sound decision there, we could not, however, reroll the one on the Rubric Marine. That's right. Not only, in turn 2, has a shield drone made all 3 feel no pain saves against an 11 on the psychic roll, an absolute beast of a hero gun drone kills the warp flamer. Outrageous. 7 points, folks. That's a drone for you. Anyway, there's no combat or morale yet. Tau scored hold 1, hold more, kill 1, kill more. And brace yourselves, and at this point I will be shocked if they don't get steadfast. Death from Afar is proving elusive with those flamers not making any kills yet. Thousand Suns get hold 1, nothing else. Meaning the score at the end of turn 2 is Tau 9, Thousand Suns keeping up with the turn number there. 2, blimey. Going into turn 3, the Thousand Suns are going to need a perfect score and to deny the Tau a bunch of points. The Tau ready everything on the board. The Thousand Suns advance a Zangor onto the point to contest with the drone again. They get the rest of their Zangors out of line of sight, leaving one behind. But the real question is what to do with the Sorcerer. Let him take 2 flamers and a plasma rifle to the face or run him away. We decide to stand and take it. In the psychic phase, however, we roll a double 1, which luckily we CP to a 3. An absolutely terrible roll, but it's really just continuing the Thousand Suns luck at this point, isn't it? Shooting phase, and of course the Crisis Suit goes first, and actually, despite shooting 2 flamers and a plasma rifle, does nothing at all. The Sorcerer is safe. And he wasn't even lowballing the flamer shots, they just got saved by the Sorcerer. The return fire from the Sorcerer, however, does nothing. Predictably nothing. The drone on the southern point is a bit of a hero again this turn and rolls double 6s. The Zangor fails the save, which we CP reroll into another fail, and the Zangor dies. This was still a worthy reroll, as this is a strategically important model, just like it was in the last round as well. However, with the CP used, we now can't reroll the armor save on the sorcerer, who luckily only gets flesh wounded from a regular gun drone. Hero drones this turn and last, but the sniper nest does literally nothing. A single hit which gets saved by his angle. Nothing to write home about. Now morale happens and the Thousand Suns break, but let's be honest, we knew they were conceding this turn anyway. And the final score was so overwhelming that they actually summoned the Demon Primarch Magnus, who by the way did nothing wrong, to stop anyone from having the mental fortitude to calculate that final score. Don't even bother, you won't be able to. Magnus is clouding the mists or the Force. I don't know, which universe are we in? Very awkward is all I'm saying. And now my endgame wrap up. I started with a big misplay on the Crisis suit, but I traded it by getting lucky on charges, so the Zangors failed all of them but one, and I killed the Terminator. Absolutely huge. The Tau, as you know, went on to not lose a single model in the entire game. Now for raw killing power, the Crisis suit didn't actually do much, only managing a single Zangor. All of his guns failed. His guns did nothing the entire game. But the sheer bully potential and how scared the Zangors and the Marines were of getting a charge off and just dominating that central objective, crazy as it might sound, those 46 points or whatever it was were put to good use. Anyway, I think you'll agree, a great game to see how not to play, and that's how we learn and become better. So, Thousand Suns. They were annihilated, but what did they actually do wrong? Were they just victims of the dice? Losing a Terminator turn 1 and a Rubric Marine with Warp Flamer turn 2? Only getting a single wound in the Psychic phase the entire game, despite one of those rolling an 11? If I were to play this scenario again, how would I win? Keeping in mind, I lost my two most expensive units before they did anything. I think I'd have to chance it and get everyone in on the Crisis suit. Use the combat as cover from the sniper nest, then hope for the kill on the suit. Also, I really should have charged in with my sorcerer. He's a melee powerhouse, but I was too afraid of the Crisis suit and charging those auto hit flamers. But I'd moved the rest of my Zangors out of position, so I couldn't get a cheap charge that I didn't care about losing, so I was stuck on that. And not willing to risk the sorcerer on the Overwatch. So instead, the sorcerer did nothing the entire game. His peak was getting his Cybolt off in turn 1. It's really bad. MVP of this is obviously the drones. My gosh. If it wasn't the Sage from the shield drone, it was definitely a single drone killing a Rubric Marine. Very nice. Because of course, yes, I did remember that because it was only a 1 damage weapon, he was saving on 2s. But how about you let me know, guys? Can I blame the dice, or was this just a huge misplay? Also, let me know what you think of the new battle report format I tried in turn 2 and 3. I like it and intend to take it forwards, but if you feel it's worse, please tell me. Also, my narration was very different and talking strategy and tactics instead of just individual dice rolls here. Also, no dice camera. All feedback here really appreciated. Thanks. This has been Glass Half Dead, and if you're one of the 11% that makes it to the end of my video, then here is a rare and elusive triple hello. I hope you've had a good day and continue to have a good day. Stay safe. Goodbye. We're needing, what do we need? Psychic. It's the 11. It's the 11. D3. It's 3. It's 3. Okay, that shit me. Alright. So these are 3 individual wounds. So we are going to pass all of them off to our boy here. One by one. So, to there. Let's do it. First one gets passed, we get a 5 up, feel no pain. Saves. Second one, we're going to pass it again. 5, oh my god. We'll do the third as well. Jesus Christ. Wow. Alright. Man, I really wish I had another camera on that dice box. Holy tits. Alright, fine. Okay, we definitely need dice rolls because that was insane. What flavour? One hit? Oh no, yeah. It's a wound. What did I CP? I did. Holy shit. What? Fuck me.